Welcome to Greater Good Radio Hawaii, where leaders inspire leaders. Greater Good Radio Hawaii is dedicated to social entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Evan Leong, and with me is my co-host, Carrie Leong.
Thank you, Evan. Today's guest is David WATUMULL, the CEO of Hawaii Biotech, a company dedicated to curing plagues like dengue fever and West Nile virus. He is co-inventor of 19 Hawaii Biotech patent applications and has raised nearly $50 million in financing for the company. Mr. WATUMULL was named one of Hawaii's 10 who made a difference by the Honolulu Star Bulletin for 2004 and is involved with many nonprofit organizations. Please welcome to our show, David WATUMULL. Can you tell us a little bit about Hawaii Biotech?
Well, thank you. I'm delighted to be here and talk to both of you today. Well, I think Hawaii Biotech is a company dedicated to try and finding solutions to major unmet medical needs. These are diseases that people either experience chronically or that can experience in an infectious situation that they might catch in an airplane or in any other setting. And what we're trying to do is to make a real difference with those diseases for as many people as we possibly can.
How contagious are these diseases like West Nile and Ebola and dengue fever? I mean, just by walking by somebody and them sneezing, can you catch it?
Both West Nile and dengue are spread by mosquitoes. So while the person could sneeze and you wouldn't catch it, if a mosquito bit that person and then flew and bit you, that is what could transmit the disease itself to you. And some of the Ebola, for example, is much less transmittable. It's not transmitted by vaccines. You have to have actual fluid content, or fluid contact, I should say, with people who have the disease itself.
Okay. So Hawaii Biotech, how old is the company? How many employees?
Well, company's been around a long time in Hawaii. We was started in 1982 by a group of University of Hawaii professors, mostly scientists, but including a business professor. I came on about in late 2001 as CEO, and really with the mission and goal of trying to take some of the technology that had been at Hawaii Biotech for a long time. We married it with some of the technology that in another small company that I had started. And our mission was to try and find the financing and resources to really move those projects from the earlier research stages into animal proof of concept studies where we can show that our protection actually works for animals or our disease treatments work in animals. And then now we hope to be able to move that into people and show that there. And we built up the company, had probably I think 12 or 15 people originally at that time, although there had been some fluctuation in the number in the prior years before that. And we now have around 70 people, 70.
Wow. So when you're trying to develop these pharmaceutical type products, then what's the typical cycle? You do some R&D, test on animals first, and then you get approval, and then you end up on humans, or how does that work?
Well, actually, what you usually start with is an idea that a particular kind of treatment or vaccine might be effective. And with that idea, you actually then try to produce the vaccine or the compound just to actually make it first. And you'll test that usually in the test tube. Okay. That test tube stage of testing can take, sometimes even that can take years of time. Once it works in the test tube in some manner of speaking, then you move on into animal testing and show that you will have a benefit to the animals that you are testing. Then once that has been accomplished, you then need to manufacture this vaccine or this drug according to FDA standards before you can go into human clinical trials. So you need to demonstrate that you can manufacture this according to what's called good manufacturing practices, or GMP. And you need to show that your compound or vaccine is safe as well. Once you've done that, then you can move into the human clinical trial phase that includes a phase 1 that's dedicated towards safety, phase 2 that gives you preliminary human efficacy and continues the safety trial, and then a large trial that confirms the earlier findings in a larger group of people that is dedicated to human efficacy, does it work, and safety as well, but in a much larger group. That whole process can take anywhere from 7 to 10 to 12 years of time from an idea to completion. Obviously, everyone tries to do it as quickly as they can, but it is a time-consuming and an expensive, capital-intensive project.
How does Hawaii Biotech stay ahead, being that all around the world people are trying to work on treatments for similar viruses?
Well, what you hope you have is a solution that no one else has. You try and patent that, then you try and move as quickly as you can to get that to the market. And I think you need to reassess yourself about where do you actually stand compared to all the other people in the world doing this. It really doesn't make sense to spend a lot of time and effort and money on projects in which you'll never be competitive. But if you do have a competitive advantage that you have been able to really solidify by building patents and intellectual property around it, then perhaps you can start attracting the capital to develop these technologies and take them through this whole development process that I just described.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more on Greater Good Radio.